on the surface, whole of this surface is gray matter. So here, what you can see now, you can see the two vertebral arteries coming from back, joining to form the basilar artery. Okay. And it is this basilar artery is now dividing into the posterior cerebral artery. Okay, here. But again, this is not a good model to see. But what we can see better over here is the presence of the anterior cerebral artery on the medial side, which hopefully we'll see it in a better form. So this is the anterior cerebral artery, and it crosses over the corpus callosum and supplies the medial surface. What is this artery on the lower surface?
Lesser occipital. No.
Posterior cerebral.
She was kidding.
Now you are looking at the superior surface of the cerebellum. Okay, superior surface of the cerebellum and vermis in between the two hemispheres. If I turn it this way, you are looking at the inferior surface. Okay, right? If you see the anterior aspect of the cerebellum, okay, you will find that it is having cerebral peduncles. Okay. This is your middle cerebral peduncle, and this is your superior cerebellar peduncles on both sides. Okay. And inferiorly, you are having very slight little inferior cerebellar peduncle. From closer view, you can see them in a better way. Okay. Now here. This is your brain stem. This is the brain stem. You can see it better that way. On the middle side, this is the midbrain. This is the pons, and this is the medulla oblongata. Okay, midbrain is here. Pons is here, medulla is here. This is your third ventricle, and above this egg-shaped part is thalamus. Below this triangular part is hypothalamus. Okay, and both of these form the lateral walls of the third ventricle. So it means our third ventricle is here. This red thing is the choroid plexus of the third ventricle. And when it goes in the midbrain, it forms aqueduct of the midbrain, and then it forms the fourth ventricle here at the region of pons and medulla. Then it becomes microscopic and goes in the spinal cord. Okay, this was your brain stem which you saw here. Now you can see the ventricular system in this cast. This is the wax which was introduced into the ventricles, and when it becomes dry and hard, it produces exact model of the ventricular system. We are having lateral ventricles here on the sides in both the hemispheres, and in the center, what is this? Third ventricle, which is slit-like. Then it becomes cerebral aqueduct. So up to here is third ventricle. Then it becomes aqueduct of midbrain, and then it dilates to form a rhomboid shaped fourth ventricle. Yeah. After that it becomes microscopic and goes in the spinal cord. So you are seeing it from top posterior part. When you hold it that way, you can see its inferior part. from inferior aspect. Main body of the lateral ventricle, which gives you anterior horn, posterior horn, and lateral horns in frontal lobe, occipital lobe, and temporal lobes. And then you can see it is connected with the third ventricle by interventricular foramen on either side, and then this is aqueduct, and then this is the fourth ventricle. A side view of that can be seen if I turn it that way. Now you are looking the side view. So this is the frontal horn here. This is the temporal horn, this is the occipital horn, this is the main body. This is your dog-shaped third ventricle. Then this is the aqueduct, and finally you get the fourth ventricle. So you can have a closer look on this. This is your cerebellum, a cut section from the cerebellum. Okay. And you can note that the white matter is in the center and the gray matter is all in the periphery.
It's not white.
This is white matter all. Okay, when you see in the naked eye, it will be whiter than this peripheral part, and this central part also contains deep cerebellar nuclei, again gray matter, which you can see over here. Okay. And then this last one which I showed you was actual human specimen. Like this is also from human beings. Sometimes this person was alive, like we people, but then this is hardened. This is the actual brain, human brain from human body. And what I want to show over here is frontal pole, occipital pole, temporal pole. This is your lateral fissure, right? And you can see from the top there is a sulcus. This is your central sulcus. Anterior to the central sulcus, frontal lobe. Posterior to central sulcus, the parietal lobe. Up to this preoccipital notch, this imaginary line. Up to this is your parietal lobe. Okay. And below the lateral sulcus is your temporal lobe, and then finally this is your occipital lobe. This is the lateral fissure here. And when you see on the medial side, like this, you can see the superior border, anterior pole, posterior pole, temporal pole. This is your corpus callosum. Now if you break the septum between corpus callosum and fornix above, as it's broken here, you can see the cavity of the lateral ventricle. So you can put your pencil in this cavity. This is your lateral ventricle, which is visible now. Okay, so one lateral ventricle in one hemisphere, other in the other hemisphere. Okay, now you can take all these models one by one with you and see all the models, not only single one, and remember all the things which we have been discussing.